Hi, Happy New Year! I hope you all had an absolutely lovely holiday season, festive season. But I thought I would start this year with, well, I cut my hair, especially. I have made a New Year's resolution, which is I'm really camera shy. I just really wanted to combat that. Get over it. So we're also going to finally reveal the Workroom sorty outy thing, which I've referenced a couple of times, probably around the summer, I'm not sure. But it has been rejigged mostly, but this room is a kind of everything room. So it's where I film all my YouTube videos, it's where I do all my commissions, it's where I do all my dressmaking, it's where I do dressmaking for my family, anything creative that I'm doing at the moment because it's too cold to work in the studio and too wet. I do it in here. This is also our spare room, and it's also the room that has my piano in. So it's kind of an everything room. So to make it work has been somewhat of a challenge, especially on like no budget. In one way I'm really glad though, because it's made me very creative and I wanted to share that with you. I should say me and my partner, very creative. We just cobble things together and after some years it looks to the point where I can show it to people. So I was going to give you like a little guided tour and just show you different things that we've made and different things that we've done. You know, any plans for the future, stuff that's been gifted to us. I just thought I would share all of those bits with you and just do like a bit more of a kind of a YouTuber video. Don't hold your breath. This is as good as it gets, guys, until I get my diffusing light, which thank you for all the Ko-fi coffees that you've been buying me. Thank you. They're all going into one place, and when I get to the point where I can buy the diffusing light, that's what I'll be buying, and you will have helped do that. So if you want to help me and the channel, you can go over to Ko-fi and make a little donation for the price of a coffee, and now you know what it's towards. I did actually record some of the kind of things that we did, so roll some time-lapsey thing of painting and tidying up. Enjoy. So this is a little update on what it looks like now it's been painted. Just been painted cream and put my green vintage shelves up. We found them in a flea market place a couple of years ago, and I just really like them. And then we've put up this kind of industrial type of hanging rail thing, and you can see on top there's a vintage, I think it's 1950s, might even be earlier than that, Harrods shopping box. Harrods is a department store if you're outside the UK. I never know how well known different things like that are. And then there's shelves, and they're made out of scaffolding planks that are not being able to be used for scaffolding anymore, so we upcycled them into shelves. We're still waiting to salvage a few more because I need a few more shelves in here. And then here there's the chest of drawers that some friends of mine were getting rid of, and I said, can I have it? so there's that. So this is the transformed bit. So here we have before. Look at that chaos. This is what I've got to sort out somehow. And yes, we have only painted part of the room because honestly, what do you do with all this stuff when you're, sorry about the exposure by the way, what do you do with all this stuff when you're trying to sort things out? We'll see how it goes. So my mission today is to get all the fabric put back on the shelves and do my little display shelves of all my little treasures and things like that. And yeah, we'll see how I get on. I'll be back later on. So let's start with the bit that we saw being painted and all the rest of it by my lovely partner. So it's no longer that weird pink, that is. Still pink, we haven't got that far yet. So I'm going to start with just the bits that have been cobbled together. So here, these are scaffolding shelves. My partner just made some little wedge brackets, screwed those to the wall, and then put these really sturdy scaffolding planks, and they really were used for scaffolding. And obviously he asked permission if we could have them, and you often find that people are quite happy to give you bits and pieces if you ask them first. Sometimes they'll say no, but often they'll say, yeah, what do you want it for? And when they find out you're going to make furniture and stuff, most people are really, really encouraging and very kind. So the next thing, which we've got focused on here, this is just a regular chest of drawers from some friends of mine that were getting rid of it years and years and years ago. In fact, they came over at Christmas. They couldn't remember it having been theirs to start with. That shows you how long I've had it. So that was given, and that's got like my table linen for doing projects and stuff, antique lace, kits and fabric on one side for designated projects. We're not going to go any further because they're all really messy. I tidied too. And then I decided to get a hanging rail. I actually did buy this. So it's a hanging rail with a shelf on top. And all of the clothes hanging on here are either, I think it goes eBay, part made dressmaking, alterations and mending. And they're not all mine. There's some stuff for my mum because I'm the resident mender. So I did actually buy that, and I think it was about £70, but I figured it would be really worthwhile, because what do you do with all these projects? And I don't like making something from start to finish, like dressmaking and stuff. I tend to run out of steam, and I know that about myself. I'm more likely to get 2 or 3 things finished than just agonising over one. So I found this as a solution, is to actually have them hanging here. They often have a description of what needs to be done pinned to them, because I can't remember all of that. So yeah, I thought that was a really good sort of purchase. And then this little shelf unit, I hope you can see it, it's a really sweet shade of green. Weirdly, it goes with the curtains that were given to us. But this shelf unit is sort of tidy. It's got my little bits of collectibles, and it's like my equivalent of a YouTube background. So these are made by a really nice lady called Jane. She calls herself Small Beans, I think, on Instagram. And then these are pincushion dolls, so that I've collected, and even some antique oil cans for sewing machines. I really like those. And one of them's a singer. And then on here, I love this. My sister made me this. I found this book, the Flower Fairies book. So yeah, let's look at this book. It's got absolutely nothing to do with this video, but the spine had all gone, and inside there's some black and white illustrations, and some child had, so like a bit like that one, there was different illustrations throughout the book, and some child had decided to colour them in, which, you know, we were all kids once. Unfortunately, it really ruined the book, and then it was falling apart, but look what she's done to it. Isn't it beautiful? So she's kept all the colour plates and then added bits and pieces, little notes and envelopes, and they're just gorgeous. I absolutely love it. But this has actually got a use. It's going to be my garden book, as I'm redoing a garden at the back of my house, so all of my plants are going to go in here. So anyway, that's just one of the amazing treasures on my shelves. The shelf unit itself has got this really cute little cutout detail, and this, I think, is probably, it could be Edwardian. It probably is. It's a very delicate piece of furniture, but it was already painted by someone, and I happen to love the colour green. And we found it in, there's a local, like an antique centre. It's like a, what do you call it, consignment type place. You know, where there's lots of different units belonging to different people. Anyway, it came from there. My partner bought it for me, which was really lovely. So there we go. So this is the sofa that you saw me clearing off in that clip, and it's actually a sofa bed, and this was given to us as well. It was given to me rather. It's that colour underneath, It's alright, but it doesn't go in this room. But then I found, about 10 years ago, I found this quilt top. It's never been quilted or even had a backing put on it to make it into a bedspread. So it still needs that doing to it. And I think, judging by the fabrics, that it's probably 1940s going into 1950s, and it seems to be a sample from somewhere. It could even be just a decade earlier than that even. It could be 1930s to 1940s. But I haven't spent a huge amount of time trying to date the fabrics or anything, but I'm going to quilt it one day. And in fact, when I announce my plans at the end of January, it will play a significant role in that. I'm saying no more, but it will be layered up with wadding and backing, and then I will quilt it. Don't know how yet. I'll probably choose traditional Welsh motifs. That shouldn't be too difficult to do on a quilt like this. And given that it was found at a flea market, it had obviously been made, put away, folded up, never used. I mean, it is gorgeous. It smells fresh. You know, it's literally been in a drawer somewhere for however many years, at least 70 years. It's just, I just love it. And it was no money at all. It was less than £20, I think. The chap was just glad to get rid of it. He had no idea what it was. I tried to tell him, he wasn't interested, so there we go. That was that. So anyway, that's what I have. And it goes really well in here, weirdly. It's got strange colours in it. Strange, like 1930s and 40s pink. So, but there's some fantastic fabrics, look. Isn't that gorgeous? That one with the flowers, the red flowers. And then I love this. Almost looks like a 1830s reproduction, that one. Just with that sort of gradation of colour going through the leaves. Anyway, do you think you'd be interested in seeing me do the whole process of deciding how to quilt it and all of that kind of thing, and maybe go into a bit of history on the fabric? I'd be more than happy to do that. I'm just, you know, I like to include history and stuff, but I don't know. I know not everybody wants that, but I think I'm going to do that. That'll make a really nice video, actually. Here we have another purchase of mine. So the IKEA caddy. I think you can get them from all over the place. It's just like a 3-drawer caddy thing. It's absolutely ram-jammed at the moment. It has got rhyme and reason to it, but not after this room being used as a as a spare room for a while. So that's something I bought. That was an IKEA caddy. And then behind it is a great big glass door on the top, bureau type, dresser type. I don't even know what that is. It's not a bookcase. I think it's like a dining room display cabinet thing. But anyway, it was given to us by one of my partner's customers. They were getting rid of it, so we said yes please, and it's now our DVD library. In the top and in the bottom there's a massive collection of board games and piano music. Here's the piano. That's my little piano. Then this bit again, bit scratchy and unruly. But this shelf unit came from we call it the too crap for auction shop. It's literally the things that people wouldn't even buy at auction. So I bought it for £5. And I scrubbed it all down with like a light bleach solution, and I treated it for woodworm and things like that. So yeah, so I did that, and then I just got those plastic baskets, which actually have held up quite well. I wouldn't get those now, but where I was living at the time was quite damp against the wall, and I thought that way I could sort of pull them out and the fabric would be able to breathe and everything. And because I don't store them in direct sunlight, that is east, so the sun goes round that way. Because I don't store them in direct sunlight, none of them have shattered, which is good. So I will carry on using them. What I might do is make some fabric covers for them, because these bits are really sharp. I've nearly cut myself loads of times. And then down here is my sort of storage area for all my patterns. There's a whole load of quilts, and this is part of the original room. I should say what this room was. It was the dining room in this house. So the really nasty 1950s kind of gas fireplace. Been disconnected now, and it just occupies so much space. But the one thing that was here was these shelves, so I've just kind of kept those for now. And then my record and CD player, absolutely essential for work. And I suppose this mantelpiece thing is quite useful. It's got some of my books on, not all of them, but you know, my favourites. And then probably the last couple of things. So this is a dining table that folds down to literally this size here. So I've got one leg out at the moment. You've seen me loads of times using it. This is where I film all my videos. And that's another IKEA purchase. It's actually like a kitchen table. I decided that I really needed something that could be folded away. So, and last but not least, this is my work chair here. It's just a chair with arms. Still goes up and down. This was left here when I bought the house years ago. This was here. This chair was here. So that's become my work chair. So I think apart from the caddy, the work table and the hanging rail, everything else in here was either given to me or rescued or donated or reclaimed, sort of furniture wise, I mean. So yeah, this is my my everything room project coming soon. Ooh, what's it gonna be? Lots of projects coming soon in here. Hopefully you won't see them. You just won't notice. That's my plan anyway. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you found it interesting, and I hope it's given you some ideas of how to repurpose and reuse things. You know, scaffolding plank doesn't just have to be a ramp into the back of the car. It can become beautiful shelves. Okay. So there are so many things that you can do, that you can repurpose and remake into something useful. And when people offer you, you know, bits of furniture that have been in the back of their, you know, garage or the shed or whatever, most things are rescuable, as I think I've shown. Anyway, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you again soon. And if you would like to see more videos that are not tall like this, please consider subscribing to the channel and press the little bell, and everyone does that, so I'm doing it. I don't even know what that means. Anyway, thanks again for joining me, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye!